What is the worst news that you've ever received? I know you might not want to go there, but I want you to think of the worst news that you've ever heard. It might have been a very traumatic moment where you heard this news. For me, recently, it was hearing that my friend had a heart attack suddenly, out of nowhere. When I heard the news, it was horrible. I had a physical reaction, I had an emotional reaction, and I had a spiritual reaction, like all at once. And now I want you to think of the best news you've ever heard. What is the best news you've ever heard? Some of the men here might go, when she said yes to marry me. I know it was for me. Great news. Because you still kind of wonder up until that moment. Will she say yes? Yes, that's good news. Now, I want you to think of a moment or a time in your life where at first you received really bad news. Something happened, something went wrong, or maybe you got a terrible diagnosis from a doctor, whatever it might be. But then soon after, or not too long after that, relating to the same thing, you got good news. So maybe it started out really bad. Maybe you started praying. Maybe people came around you. And then not too long after that, you got good news. Sometimes people end up in hospital with one problem, and because they are in hospital under a surgeon's hand, they discover an even bigger problem that was underlying. And then that person is saved from an even worse thing that was upon them. So the bad news revealed other bad news, which gave good news because they could be healed, they could be saved. But I want you to just remember that emotion of hearing that horrible news and then moving from that to the change. When the news that you hear changes and affects that first outcome. Now I want you to take that sense, that emotion that you have, and I want you to apply it to the worst news the world ever had to face. And that is that the idyllic situation that God created when He created man in His image and likeness, and then formed the woman from the man, and He brought them together, and He said they must be one flesh. He blessed them. He told them, be fruitful and multiply. And everything was good. He said, there's one thing you're not allowed to do. You can have everything in this garden, Garden of Eden. But there's one tree you may not eat from. It's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat from that, you will surely die. Serpent came, tempted Eve by lying, causing doubt in her heart about the character of God. And he hasn't changed his strategy. His strategy is to make you swallow a lie about God before you swallow the forbidden fruit. And unfortunately, Eve swallowed the lie about God's character, about His intent, and why He told them that's not allowed. She saw that the fruit, she took her eyes off of God onto the tempter and then onto the fruit and saw that it was good for eating. She ate, she gave some to the man. The moment the man sinned with her, the worst news of the world broke. The perfect will of God was gone against by disobedience, and a chasm formed between a holy God and a sinful mankind, and a curse came upon everyone after that. That was the worst news ever. And when we are born into that curse. The world and the way people think in general will tell you all people are basically good. The Bible says no. All people are basically bad, sinful, broken, heading for hell. If you don't believe me, ask any parent. That child did not come out of the womb and started walking and talking and obeyed everything that the parent says. There's a will, there's sin, and as parents we need to guide them, tell them what's right and wrong, and discipline them to train them up. So don't for 1 second believe the lie that all people are basically good. They're not. If people have general good behavior, it is because someone trained them to have that good behavior. But everyone is born in sin, and that is the bad news. But then there's good news, and that's what we're going to talk about today. God has fulfilled this for us, their children, in that He raised up Jesus. You say, you know your fathers? You know the prophets? You know all the promises that they got about the Messiah? I have good news for you. He has fulfilled these promises for us. That thing you've been waiting for, it happened. In that He has raised up Jesus. He's now putting a name to the word Messiah, the coming one. The coming one, the Messiah, is putting a name on it. It's Jesus. Therefore, let it be known to you, brethren, that through this man is preached to you the forgiveness of sins, and by Him everyone who believes is justified from all things which you could not be justified by the law of Moses. Drop the mic, throw the bomb, shove them around. This is huge.
Hello, I'm Heinz Winckler from LoveKey Church, and I want to thank you for watching that video. If you enjoyed it, if it meant something to you, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and hit that bell button on our channel. We'd really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.